So we talked this morning about our three major goals, the three major bold goals that we took on more than 17 or 18 years ago. And the first bold goal was to make Linux the standard in enterprise computing. And that may sound like an obvious goal now, but back then Linux was very much a hobbyist, used by mainly hobbyists. Some of the commercial companies were starting to look at Linux, but you know, they really had problems in really bringing it into the enterprise because there were all different releases with different functions and different time frames of functions. There were ISVs that were certified on different ones or not certified at all. There was no constant life cycle of Linux. All their applications would break on any new release, etc. And so those are all the things that we tried to solve with RHEL over the last 17 or so years. And so I think we accomplished that goal because we solved many of those things with RHEL. So that was our first bold goal, was make Linux the standard in the enterprise, and now that is the case. Linux is the standard in the enterprise today, across all enterprises. The second bold goal was make hybrid cloud the architecture of the future. So maybe 10 years ago, the cloud providers started to spring up. And some of those cloud providers were telling the world that every application was going to move to the public cloud soon, tomorrow. We saw that as just not practical. We saw a case where there were applications that were running on physical machines, on-premise on virtual machines, on-premise on private clouds. And as more cloud providers came on the scene, even across multiple clouds. And so we took a bet and made a bold goal that hybrid, meaning cloud, was going to be part of companies' infrastructure and not their entire infrastructure. That was going to be the architecture. Everything we've done over the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, everything in terms of new companies that we've acquired, new products that we've developed, everything that we've done over those years has been in support of that hybrid cloud vision. All of our products around OpenShift and RHEL run across the hybrid cloud. Our management products manage our RHEL instances as well as RHEL containers across the hybrid cloud. So I think now you're even hearing other vendors and even the other cloud providers talking about hybrid cloud. So I think we're very close to realizing that second bold goal of making hybrid cloud the architecture of the future. The third bold goal that we talked about today was we're going to bring hybrid cloud all the way out to the edge. As things get more sophisticated now, as AI comes into play, as data is very, very important, analytics is very important, compute, storage, and networking is having to happen further out into the edge. So for example, out in the manufacturing factory, out where, for example, we're in the car factory, we know of an example where we do analysis with our software on the paint job of a car coming off the manufacturing line. AI has to look at that and look for imperfections in that paint, for example. That computing has to happen close to the source. There's not enough bandwidth or time to bring all that data back to the data center, do the analytics on it, and then go back to the factory floor and take action on it. All of that has to happen out at the edge. As 5G gets rolled out, for another example, in networking, there's a lot of data, a lot of compute that will happen out in the edge. That all has to be part of the hybrid cloud. So moving that hybrid cloud to reach all the way out into the edge and even the far edge becomes much more important. So we're well on that way to that bold goal, but that's the bold goal that we're working on right now. So those three bold goals is what has driven this company, Red Hat, for the last 17 or 18 years. Make RHEL the enterprise standard, make hybrid the architecture that enterprises will build to, and now bring hybrid all the way out to the edge.